Was not a nice segue. Hey, y'all. Hello, hello. It's been a minute since I've been live. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Very compelled to go live today um, to have some frank conversation and to talk about building a business ethically. But there is some updates and some things that I want to share. I'm going to let y'all know all the deets, and I'm also going to show some slides here that I pulled from one of our webinars, and we talked about what to watch out for. Okay, so we broke down all the standards and all the reasons why you want to start your business and start your foundation for your microlocks a certain way, and then knowing all that, we broke it down into what you should watch out for based on the plethora of things that have happened and problems. But I want to go into a couple of areas with that. So I wanted to say hi. Um, it's been a minute, and I'm happy y'all joined. All right, so I don't even know where to begin, so I'm just gonna begin. Y'all can say hi. Tell me where you were watching from. If you're watching on the group, if you're watching on Instagram, say hi. Let me know if you agree. But a lot of y'all may already know how passionate I get about people that build in this realm a business that don't have good intentions and that either take, steal, cause damage to people's hair. I think in any hair care realm or any profession, people don't want that. People don't like that. But when it comes to, I gotta take a breath because I get very fired up about people that intentionally do it. Like they go out to say, how can I make a quick buck? And when there are people who are serious out here who truly want to create a serious business, who I speak to so many women that have passion and they really want to contribute positively to their community, you will be blessed spiritually and physically. But there's a few snakes and rotten apples that come out, and I don't understand the thinking, but we're going to break down based on business ethics, just pure how to run any business, why that becomes a problem, and we're going to apply it to what we talk about and promote in the microlock hair space, because it is a niche and because it has unique things going on. It also is prime and ripe for opportunists um, that are sometimes aren't very savvy and smart about things, make a lot of mistakes and take a lot of people and their money with them, and it has happened. And so, if y'all remember me speaking about an incident that happened with our own business, where we had to legally do a cease and desist and do legally reprimand a business and get them to shut down. Well, they are back, and it is happening, and it's coming to our attention that people are confused once again and putting out money. But here's what I know about that business and certain other ones that I make it plain and simple about key things to be looking out for that are red flags. When you're talking about now, I'm talking about on pro level. So everything I say may not apply to someone who, like I said, you're home and you want to play and experiment in your hair and you're not harming anyone because you're not taking anyone's money that they work hard for. You're not taking food out of anybody's mouth. You're not copying someone else's business. And now, you're not doing any of those things. So you're not harming anyone. I have the passion and the fire behind me for people who are harming, because unethical business practices piss me off anyway, pisses a lot of people off anyway. Nobody wants to be scammed and intentionally scammed. But I go deeper with this because the majority of the clients and people that we serve are Black women. I'm a Black woman. I'm a single mother, like many women or mothers or wives or whatever, women and men. And we go and we work hard for our money. Some of us work really hard to establish businesses the right way. And when you establish a business the right way, there are steps that you take. And one of the very, very first things anybody will tell for any business that you should do is, if you have a business concept and you have a business name, some of the very first things you should do, and a lawyer would do for you if you sat with the lawyer, is do a search. Just make sure that your business name and that your business, the thing that you are trying to mark or not mark or just use to exchange, get ink money from, is that it's not somebody else's or very close to it. Also, that the content upon which you are building your business and earning money from is not a direct copy from someone else's. There's so many people with unique spins and twists on things that come out of their mind, and that is different, because if you do your work and you take the proper steps and say, when I was creating anything, even Naturally Beautiful Hair Care, as common as that name is, when I was creating that, I still did a search to see, and I trademarked Naturally Beautiful Hair Care. It's a common name, yes, but you will find it if you search, and it's trademarked with my logo. Did the same thing for Michael Lock Mastery. Did the same thing. If you're really serious about your business, you have to take those steps. If you are not serious about your business, you're trying to make a quick buck, you won't do that, because it's your mind is not thinking longevity. Your mind is thinking quick, and that's very problematic. And we all can guess why. If you're trying to make a quick buck off of someone or someone else's work, then you know your business will fail. And it depends on who you are doing that. It depends on how hard you might fail. I was like, y'all know I'm spiritual. And I was like, I don't know how much I'm gonna put in there, but there are people highly protected. You don't want to just go and mess around and try to harm people that did nothing to you. Yes, you could trademark with the lawyer, Facebook user, and you can self-trademark. Yeah, if you have the steps are laid out, uspto.com. You can find all that information out. You can even just do a search. But here's the thing, there's registrations that people make, and also claim intent for first use. So sometimes somebody may not have a mark, but they can challenge your mark and get you shut down. And that's we actually did that when people were investing in someone else's program that was the same name as mine, that was confusing people. And they can't operate anymore. So if you're investing in getting a certification from a program that is built on fraudulent foundation, they could up and disappear. And I mean, unless you just like to say you're certified, if someone really cares about the backing behind a certification program for longevity that is going to last, that program, I would want to be certified by a program that I know has really solid foundations and is aimed to continue growing. Because as that certification program grows, that hopefully will give me more opportunities and more backing to my certification. I don't want to get certified by Mimi and Ray and whatever down the block who popped up and made a certification program and taught you how to do something that they saw on YouTube. And you look at the quality of the work, or and you're trying to do this, and you're walking around hoping and intending for this certification to give you that level of quality, and then you find out all installs you did with that foundation are falling apart. And then your work compared to somebody else's who invested in a quality program, their work is 10 times better. They made their investment, and that program and that certification program is growing and getting more backing, more financial support, whatever it is, because the intentions were good, because the roots were deeper. And I'm saying that because there's confusion going on now, which will be snapped again in the bud. But it's a shame that other Black women do this. And the thing is, you never ever know who truly you are dealing with, what type of support, seen and unseen, that person, that you never know. You don't want to dip and dabble in being shady and taking large money, because now you're messing with another business, and you're also messing with other people who've trusted you. And whether or not they feel like they've been wronged is up to them. And you can't tell people where to put their money. But I'm not going to think that that's okay to yeah. Sorry, y'all have yeah, so true. But there, so we, number one, before I get to my point, I have a lot of points of foundations. I invest heavily in other business trainings. I spend thousands of dollars a month, even for my own databases. I often take a loss in my business. Someone joining a program is paying off debt. It's not, like I'm sitting here rolling. I do therapy and social work, but I invest because I have long-term vision and goals for not only this program, but for my business as a whole. I am a social worker with a natural hair business. I'm a Black woman, and that is always who I will be. And I don't play around and just try to take people's money and do quick things. I invest, and I won't. Every dollar is not something we need to grab and be thirsty for. There's something about having, not operating in a desperate space, not, having your own foundation, your own fundamentals, your own ideas. And you're like, these are great. I've had these ideas, and I really think it could be a great contribution. So let me go ahead and protect my ideas, not let me go see what someone else is doing. Let me undermine them and let me try to make sure that I take and copy and take, because you will fall. Any business you do. So even if you have a Microlocks hair business, please research your business name or any other aspects of your business. You may not need to hire an attorney, but there's so many affordable ways to go about doing it. Do your searches though, because when lawsuits hit and things start really moving, you don't want to be sitting out hanging to dry, or, something. If you really have good intentions, you won't understand. You were like, this is something, investment I have to do so that I can continue to grow right. There's some people growing very well, growing right. They handled all of that already. So now as they're growing their business, it's in respect and they get support. I see this as a community. I don't see this as we as snakes trying to bite each other's heads off. I wanted to say also, and I'm always forever going to give credit to Sister Locks. Sister Locks company. I'm not talking about them when I'm talking about scammers. I just thought of mentioning that. I always try to mention, if you are inspired by someone's business, someone's idea, especially another fellow Black woman, and your business is very closely linked and it has inspired you, speak on it. It's obvious. Speak on it. I will forever respect the contributions that Sister Locks and Joanne Cornwell has made to Small Locks. And when I created my business, as I evolved in my maturity as a business owner, I knew that my success was not going to come under undermining what she does and talking bad about her, but saying, you can go ahead and get that training. And this is the value that I offer. And since I never came out of that, it wasn't like I was informed, inside and coming out to overthrow. It was like I had another valuable contribution, but I'm never going to take away and not give credit. That's key number one to spiritual success and prosperity. You better give credit to who's given. Don't try to go in and just act like, let's go ahead and you can clearly Google a lot of information and you can see. So like with me, I didn't do a whole lot of work on microlocks.com, et cetera, but I put a lot of groundwork in with Microlocks. It's not hard to see. So when someone comes out and they're undermining or creating things I've worked very hard to do and try to be a competitor, instead of saying, hey, maybe if you have a contribution or idea, let's be respectful so we can coexist in the same space. Don't come for me or anybody else's business, and especially in my network. Don't come for us, because we're not coming for you. We're just trying to thrive, and we have brilliant ideas. And you know what happens on a psychological level with us as Black people? We have a lot of insecurities and we have a lot of low self-esteem, and it turns into jealousy. That is very real. Research shows that. Other people who are psychologists and mental health and therapist workers in business, you understand this as well. This is something that we deal with. And it goes to different levels, and it goes to, like a lot of people say, people don't support each other, people come out, whatever, but you don't want to come, if you want to do a business and you have these great ideas, you do your due diligence first. You do your research, you make sure you protect your stuff, and that you don't blatantly, because they're going to lawyer up the other person and they're going to shut you down. Y'all got so many comments. Are y'all saying anything on IG? No, but y'all see me ranting. So I wanted to say, build with integrity and follow steps. So the first step, obviously, research and protect your existing legal marks, right? Some things are in process. Some things, even if someone doesn't have something trademarked, they can still go in and say they used it first. So make sure you know what you're saying. I want y'all to know this. Some people have said that we don't have a training coming up in July. We don't have a tour, right? Again, that is the same person that we did a cease and desist letter. I'll speak between the lines. I'm meeting with our attorney this week. And after we've got our stuff in place, I can, and if there's anything else I need to share about it, I will. But that person has already been served legally for fraud. So if you decide to spend your money with someone, they basically copied our original sales page that we had. Not we had a different sales page before we had the Micro Lock Mastery one. We had a different sales page. All right. And I'm gonna keep changing and making things better. But it told you everything that was in the course, it told you what was in the kits. Word for word on their site. They took one letter off and Micro Lock Master. We own the mark for Micro Lock Master. We own the trademark. I have a copy of it here. We own Micro Lock Mastery training and certification. We own Micro Lock Mastery certified. So things that sound like that is what they were trying to do. So they did that. So they had to shut down. They copied a lot. And the thing is, okay, that's flattery, but people were paying money and kept inquiring us. So today I had a conversation. Oh, you're not doing which one are you? Again, you don't want that for your business, for people to get you so confused with someone else, because now there's grounds for some legal action, because now you're causing confusion. It's a term called confusion in the marketplace, but there's another term. And that, if it's very closely, so you have to, someone is intentionally trying to undermine someone else's business. They do stuff like that. Like you'll see knockoff brands, like instead of Rice Krispies, it's Rice Crunchies, or you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of knockoffs that do that. But the likelihood of confusion is a factor. So we don't have anything happening person job. We have something big rolling out, and we have something big for our network. And it's always been something I've been hinting about. But right now, that's not what we're advertising. So it's not us. We have double M's. Okay. This person, God save their soul, because when you, again, be very careful, physically and spiritually, be very careful about doing shady stuff and to who you're doing it to. Okay. But I had to put the spiritual because I'm a spiritual person. I don't know how it's copying, stealing, not getting credit. It's a recipe for failure, right? So especially, yeah, I already said that part. So I want you to remember, you cannot build a foundation off of just taking. And I know a lot of people that listen to me are not doing it. Most people have sense and don't do that. But there are a few. Again, it's happened before at an event. I had a person with a notebook walking around an event I had with a notebook. 3 weeks later, did very similar event with the free barber. Well, we did free barber, and they did whatever, all the elements of it. And then someone got on the mic. They did a panel with men. I do a panel with men because that was my brand, Brothers That Love Sisters with Natural Hair. If you know about Brooklyn, 10 years ago, I was doing events. Same kind of thing happened. So now I have a very low tolerance for bullshit. I do. I have very low tolerance. My default is nice and friendly. Social worker Jessica. I want to help everyone. I want us all to get to, empowered space. But we got to call out the bullshit in our communities. We got to call this behavior out. And then you're going to be slapped legally. And it's like, why do we have to do that to each other? I want you to think about creating your own unique business with your unique things in it. What contributions. I dream about things. I go to sleep. I have visions. I think about concepts. I'm like, yeah, I think about names, and it comes to me. I write it down. I don't watch anybody else's video. I don't have a tolerance for it either. So it comes from within. A lot of people watching are like that. You have genius in you. Share your genius. But the problem with what you have in that genius is the people that don't have that light, that'll be like, how dare she shine so bright? I want some of her light. I mean, take some of it. And I think it does us a disservice when we don't speak on it. A lot of times we try to be professional. I don't say a lot. I just continue to build and grow. Now, it's certain things that, this is not good business practice. You are not going, if you take any heed to any warning, doing these things, especially in this day and age, you're going to have the repercussions come very fast for you. So always think about why you're doing something. Is it because you want to bring that person down and shine bright because you have low self-esteem, or you're jealous? Or is it because you truly have a gift and you really want to excel and you want to show these skills? And maybe there is some similarity, but you have your unique spin. And so you're going to package your offering in that way. And you're going to elevate and grow in your space. It's enough for everyone. Absolutely. Being ethical is so important. Yes. It's the basis. If you know the laws of anything, spiritual or physical, you will reap what you sow. And it will come back. I don't want you to take a bunch of us Black women, with you, or not me, but the people. I don't want you taking too many people with you down, because things will go down. The thing is, I want to show y'all on this slide some things to watch out for. All right, so we already know what I've said about. I'm gonna share this slide, and I'll say it out loud. If you're on IG and you are not able to see the slide, don't worry. It's not a whole lot on here. So, the mouse. There we go. I'll go back to that slide. Red flags to look out for. Okay, I'm gonna be real. Now, let me make this bigger. Be very real. I preach about good foundations, right? I preach about that. So if you're going to invest in a training that is teaching you two-strand twist, look at my face when I tell y'all this. Make myself big. Two-strand twist or braids as a foundation for micro locks. Do not know lock theory for micro-sized locks. Be very wary of investing money into a training like that. Because when you understand that hair locks differently in different sizes, hair locks differently with different patterns and things like that. Bigger locks can have a different lock foundation and structure than smaller locks for the type of uniformity and size that you are seeking. So if someone is a pro and they have supposedly all this knowledge and all this years of experience, they will not sit and say, whatever amount of money, and now we're going to, which way do you want to learn? Learn how to, you can learn how to do twist and mini braids by going to a twist and mini braiding class and just calling it that, right? So I have a little tolerance right now for it, because people are like spending money on the verge, and then they're like mad. They're like, wait a minute. And they find out information and it makes sense. So they recall somebody else's experience and they're like, oh, shoot, yeah, that person's locks did all fall out. Why am I paying all this money to learn how to do it that way? So if someone is asking you, what method would you like to start with? Instead of informing you of the best practice and fundamentals, that's a red flag. If they are a pro who has claimed to have a certification, training, extensive knowledge, X amount of years doing what? Because if it was doing micro-sized locks or micro locks, first you would understand the foundation and origin of micro locks. You'd understand that. Charging you to train you to start micro locks or micro-sized locks with two-strand twists or braids, and not the actual ideal method for the size. Because now, do they have sufficient, y'all can see my face. Do they have sufficient, I'm trying to be dramatic effect, information on repair and refinement when them two-strand twists unravel or puff out or don't match what you're doing when you're interlocking the base? Do they know how to fix that? Are they showing you refined, evolved repair methods? Are they showing you the proper tool for repair? Are they showing you reattachment? Do you have that option to take more advanced repair level training? Overly focused on the grid. Grid. Y'all know I did that video. That grid is good, but what about those locks? Right? It's more than just the grid. I'm sorry if y'all hear a bite in my voice. I'm sorry. I'm at the point, and this is just another version of myself. I'm not trying to, this is just my frustration, because out of this frustration is love. Like, get good information. But these are some things that if you get confused by another training happening in July, you want to look for these red flags, because some of these are happening. Not very knowledgeable on repair or grooming or refinement or etc. How are we going to do repair methods at year 1, 2, 3, 4, 10? Because at the 10th year, remember, now we're talking maybe more about reattachment. or some things that are prevalent that happen in locks that are more mature and older, that happen to my locks that are more mature and older. Cannot provide long-term pictures or examples of hair started with those methods being taught. You're teaching methods. Where is the 5-year, the 10-year? There's no 10-year. The 15-year started that way. Maybe braids. I do know someone that started, but are they telling you about all the repair and things they had to do? Are they telling you how it looked like braids for 5 of those 10 years, until it grew out? Are they telling you this is the look you're going to get? So it's not going to be quite, maybe if you're looking for it to be all a barrel cylinder type of shape from the get, it's not going to lock that way because the foundation we're creating is not going to create that. It's going to be a hodgepodge. Or do you like refinement? And I tell people, someone's asked me already, very large following. I don't need to grab it. Well, I mean, ethically, I'm not going to just grab any dime and give people. I told that person, maybe they're watching and I don't know, but I said, I'm not, they asked, can you start with Twister and Twist in the area that I work in and everything? I asked, well, can you, we don't recommend starting with that. Can you tell me why you asked that from a pro? Because I don't have the time. I'm very busy. I don't have the time to sit, I think interlocking, they say. It's actually, I call it interwoven lock. And there's multiple ways that you can do that besides one pattern. But I said she said, that's going to take a long time. And I said, I had to explain to her, a little bit of like how long a foundation installation might take, etc. Thank you for educating me on that, she said. Because you have to educate people sometimes on our. Ask them, why are you asking me as a pro? And I don't do that. Because also, if you're trying to be my client, I'm not setting myself up to do a bunch of repair now. Like, you know what I mean? And what's the final point? Has not been able to address significant repair issues. That's an issue for even people starting with the ideal method. So imagine starting with some other methods where now the repair is more complex. Repair has been one of the least done things I've seen in the 15 years I've been providing service, for no matter what their background. I mean, usually it's been sister-in-law program or someone who does interlocking. And so repair has been something I've seen people lack. So when I was creating a way to I don't want to say disrupt, but to have my involvement in the industry, it was to help and address and provide solutions. And to quote my Miss Marquetta, who I love, I think she said that, or maybe somebody else said that, but business-minded people know our businesses are supposed to provide solutions. And she did say that. And I heard of that's all we talk about. That's what we focus on, providing a solution. But the solutions needs to be long-term. It's not supposed to be something, okay, yeah, I'll throw some things in your hair and now you can walk around and for a good month or 2 or 3 maybe. And then it's going to start trying to evolve. And then, that's where it starts to get real. And that's when you're like, is this looking like how I want it? What's going on? So I want to put that out there. I danced around it. I was trying to be respectful, but I see it so much now. And I'm hearing so many stories about, can you fix this? Can you, I'm looking for another loctician. And our network of people were saying they weren't going to do that. And so here's another thing. So if there's a certification program, I say, okay, we're going to teach you on those methods that are going to result, some of these red flags. And so now people are looking for a certified pro whose foundation has a whole bunch of holes and gaps and misinfo and not really a solid foundation. Can you trust that they're going to handle your hair? And here's the other thing is that even if I say not another word, you will see the difference between those who are able to be discerning, do their due diligence, establish their business or get their services done in a way that they're really certain is going to give them the results. They've seen enough evidence and they're walking around with these great results. And then they're the ones that are going to, it's going to speak for itself. So one of the most important things that I keep saying, I can't stress enough, is the foundation of your business. But the intention and your mission and your goal behind it is always going to show through. Your energy is always going to show through. So if that's where the spot needs to be fixed. But if you if you're trying to create a business that's going to be the most profitable and most successful and abundant for you for the time period that you want to do it for, I would suggest really, really, really connecting with it and making sure that you are practicing in a really solid way. It's a shame that our society has got people to be so competitive, that people with real, true gifts and insight are constantly being exploited or taken, and then people, people growing off the backs of them, and that's something that really pisses me off. Another reason why it's important, besides your poor quality work that is always going to be noticed, it looks worse. Oh yeah, it looks worse next to someone that has good quality. And also, it's a waste of time and money. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of their time. If you are doing something or doing techniques that are going to create more problems, it's a waste of time and money for everybody. And do we really want to just waste time? We want to be efficient. We want to be really knowledgeable. And so if I, even in the free info I give, tell you that these foundations look like this, and I show you photo evidence after photo evidence, and you still invest in a training that says, I'm going to teach you how to do these same things that Jessica's been shown, or whoever's been shown pictures of or been dealing with for the past 15 years, then that's really, you can't rush quality. So another thing that I wanted to mention is, because this is for what I have mentioned about the confusion, we don't do certification trainings in 2 days. Again, disservice to you and disservice to whoever you're going to serve. How can we, the team, the coaches, anybody, fully assess your skills, start to finish, on all the things all the value information that we want to train you on in 2 days? So if we're hopping around to get in a rush to get people to be certified haphazardly and placed on something so that they can continue to provide inconsistency in the marketplace, is doing a disservice for everyone. So I feel any solid, credible program will have a little bit of time it may be a couple of weeks. I'm not saying you got to be 6 months, but some cosmetology programs, some things are months long. Excuse me, y'all. Oh my God, I'm sorry. But so yeah, that's another too. So to do a full installation from A to Z, learn repair and grooming, learn maintenance, learn all these things. So when people even asked about, is our 5-day boot camp for certification, I was like, we'll give you a lot of value, but we're not going to be able to teach and assess and properly assess them, all of our list of standards, all these things in that small period of time. Now that's a time frame for maybe learning something smaller, and then maybe but for the value that we want to give people, that's ridiculous. Where are the standards? Y'all see me in rare form. Only because it's too close to, now you're too close to our stuff. Once again, I don't understand why people sit around and verbatim copy even things I say on my live. So if you want to copy something that I say and put it in your description of your business, copy that. Integrity is super important. And yeah, doing due diligence and making sure that we respect each other in no matter what business we do. If I open up a therapy business, I have a nonprofit that I just started, which is going to be a support to this business, because I'm all about us really going out here and thriving. But we're not gonna the point I'm trying to make, it's the same ethics, the same mission. So the point I was trying to make, because now my mind just switched to the nonprofit. Any business that you do, y'all, I was like, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know. I shared this, I announced everywhere that I was going to go live and talk about this. I appreciate y'all listening. If you have any question about if we are doing a training in July, a certification tour, we are not. And when we do announce the things that we are about to drop, first, I spend a lot of time in the planning phase and business meetings, preparing this right. I want my people to have money and grants. I want my people to have a solid foundation for their business. I'm not hopping around city to city to give you something that I took off somebody else's training or try to teach you something to grab your money real quick. And I'm vetting right now, so I'm trying to keep professional, but I'm just there's holes in a lot of that. I would be very cautious about that. It's a difference between like a boot camp, when I do the boot camps, again, it's virtual and I give information, but our certification program I take seriously. Certification program comes out of the need for there to be consistency in the marketplace. Let me show y'all this slide. Y'all know, y'all heard me speak about this before possibly, but I did want to share this again because it's let me just get it big for you. Consistency, high quality, people happy, people's money being well spent, people feeling confident that they have a wide range of skills that are effective and beautiful and create these beautiful results that people have on their hair for years and years to come. That's the result. So when we are talking about, I shared this already, having a clear definition of microlocks, but let me make myself bigger. There's another thing I wanted to share with y'all real quick. Mission of what we do. Best practices and standards. Long-term proven high quality results, not something a fad, not something DIY movement is doing and now I'm going to do it and train. I'm going to give you education about whether or not those techniques are good and what's the ideal method for locks and the size that you want to lock the way you want them to lock. This includes foundation knowledge on technique. What kind of tools are you, what are the tool types that we use for this, and how are they used and how do they affect how your hair locks? Because there are ways that tools affect our hair locks. What are the innovations and improvements that are being done to enhance the look and the length of time for small locks? The hair locking process. How does hair lock at this level with these techniques, the locking stages, and more? And that is how we termed what we provide under microlocks. Not just I don't even know how I asked people, how do you describe how you define them? Are you saying just because they're small, you're going to start them with anything? Are you defining them by how you're starting them? Are you defining them by the goal that you have for them to look small? It's got to be really clear on that. And so I'm gonna upgrade and continue to build out the sites that I had been working on for many years, Microlocks and microlock.com. I know it's not a whole lot on it, but there was a brand being created with this. So when people are coming out and confusing people what we're training on, this is what could happen. An open-ended and unpredictable definition that can give inconsistent results. Two people standing next to each other with the same hair type and the same hair length are going to have vastly different results depending on what somebody is doing to their hair. And if they understand and have the knowledge to create the results. So it may or may not incorporate best practices or standards. It may not be seen as quality. And sometimes people are even saying it's the second best option because they're seeing people saying what people are saying they're doing as microlocks are seeing all these kind of problems. And they're like, well, what's the difference between, you can't even say the difference between microlocks and sister locks because there's so many vast different definitions. So when someone asked me that question, I said, well, difference between microlocks defined by NBHC or Microlock Mastery versus sister lock. And I can give a clear explanation, not just like, well, one is, no, there's a clear, sister locks has a clear way that they do locks. They have a clear, the tool, the products, everything that they have has been clearly defined. And so when I did mine, we go over the Microlock Mastery method even in the training. We go over it in a boot camp as well. So this is a public space, but we have very clear definition of it. And so that's what I want people to think about when you're thinking about investing money in somebody's random training, trying to come for Microlock Mastery because they clearly stated it. All right, y'all. Y'all know I'm a therapist. I don't know if y'all know. I'm an LMSW, social work therapist. And I had a therapy session, and this is what I want to say. When we talk about do my actions, behaviors, and decisions align with who I desire to be? How do I desire to show up as a professional, as a business? And am I doing those things that really represent who I truly want to be? That just came to me, and I ask myself that each day. I make sure that if your intentions are not good, it's going to come out in the wash. It's always going to come out, and you have repercussions for that. So, if you are an upstanding, honorable, good-hearted person, you're going to have much success, and I wish you much success, and I hope that we can support you on that, and that you align, if you're aligned with our energy, and because we're out here to impact your own life drastically, whether it's you getting a service and you got good information and you have hair that you feel it takes you places. There's people, you might whatever jobs you do or whatever, just feeling good about yourself and having something involved the way you want, or you could be in the pro end of it and you are doing the best services in your area, the best services in your state. It is very possible. Your books are always full. You're professional from A to Z, and you are still supported and still endorsed and still have opportunities to grow ethically. Align yourself with people who have those foundations. You'll look for other businesses to maybe that you are as good as the company you keep. You're as good as the training that you get. And when I tell you, be careful that there's probably others, but the ones that keep coming into our radar because they keep coming and stepping on our toes are ones that have already demonstrated that they're fraudulent, that their information is pulled and not given credit to the source. That will take our stuff and then go ahead and claim to be. Just be very careful. It's going to show in the result and quality as well. If you're not getting the proper support, you want a training with the proper support, I would suggest you do your due diligence. So even if that doesn't matter to you and you're like, I just want to know, it will affect you. It will affect you when you're trying to figure out why I can't troubleshoot this problem. Why my results don't look as good as that person, or this business shut down. Oh shit, my money is gone. Because that very likely the outcome when people do stuff like this. Those businesses don't stay long. You never see those businesses stay long. They're here, they do their dirt, and they go because they get shut down. I think I said everything that I wanted to say, y'all. I'm gonna have conversations. This really kind of put my energy in a space, but it's all right because this is where we step into business. And also, you have to be prepared. If you are a really good business, or you have a shine or a light or a gift, like I said, make sure you get yourself a good legal team. Invest in that. Put money to the side, or make sure you have some support or counsel. If you want some information on like real affordable ones, you can inbox me. I do have resources. I have 2 law firms. So one is more affordable than the other for use for certain things and one use for another. And then you have attorneys for everything. You're going to have attorneys and accountants and everything for your business. So make sure that, you have those in place. And I can share some resources if you like. But once again, I've been alerted. And I was it is very surprising that it doesn't really, I don't get upset until people start really getting affected financially, and also when it starts stepping on our toes. So I don't know. I see y'all looking. I know y'all said hello. I don't know who. I see Chandrika. Hi, Chandrika. If y'all have any questions, I'm not going to spill a name yet, but I'm just, if there's any questions in general, if you want to know what we cover, that's why I give y'all business legal documents, even in the training. I believe in service policies. I believe in having legal incorporated in your business from the very beginning. Get your business license, get everything you need. You can get an LLC, great. There's so much more. How do you, I might have to restructure how you do taxes. You got to restructure all these different things, but then also there is strategy to trademarking. So just because someone doesn't own a mark in that way, there's strategy. So there's like a lot of great perspective. And I try to put as much support in a basic program, but we're going to continue to build on this. These experiences just keep telling me what else can I add to this program as well for people who may want this kind of support, or maybe dealing with something like this, or who want to make sure that they don't unintentionally become a perpetrator or an infringer, because it can happen accidentally too. There's a lot of people creating businesses, an explosion of people creating businesses, and not all of them most of them don't have their ducks in a row to be able to handle or spot things. And so you want to be the business that, if depending on how far you want to go, you're going to need to really get things in place. The more success you have, the more issue. And so there's businesses that have lawyers on retainers in the 5 figures. I had a lawyer retainer in 4 figures, and I'm a mom, and I'm a single mom, and it's my money on my pocket. But you got to do what you got to do. And I'm always prepared to do that. It's also a mind shift and a perspective that you have to adopt when you really want to take your business to levels. There's always going to be people copying, yes, but there's also time when you really got to start. You got to shift all your focus and your resources on it now. And that's when I say, have mercy on that person. Because when you start to, now we watch, and now we laser focus, now it's on. And so you don't want to be moving in spaces and ignoring that, respecting but an intellectual property of someone else or another business. It happens a lot because YouTube, also people get stuff taken all the time. I hear it all the time. Bloggers and everyone in all different genres talk about it, but I would give it, the best advice I would get is the lawyers are going to be your best friend. Different types of lawyers as well. So you'll have trademark attorneys, and every different aspect. And yes, so I would say for starting your business, create some type of ethics and mission that you want to abide by, that you want to keep at the forefront of how you're going to operate. It can be in your mission statement, it can be in your thoughts, it can be just your values. Right? Because people will see through. If you're talking about promoting and supporting women, and every time you turn around, you getting your business shut down because you keep copying off of people, trying to, undermine what they're doing or talk bad about them, you're not living up to what you say you are. Even if you're a hairdresser, that's so old school, a loctician or whatever, and you're behind the chair constantly gossiping or talking negative. Are you embodying? What is your purpose? What's your intention? And nothing goes undone, nothing goes unrectified. So I'm very, on a spiritual, I'm very big about that. If I speak negatively or intend to harm another, especially another Black woman, I must know that will come back to me. I must know that. If I'm made aware of that. So how can I embody the kind of treatment that I would like? How can I embody a boss that is making positive impacts in the world, that has this vision of helping myself, my family, and others through my talents and skills? And am I acting like that? One of my team members is like, don't speak or don't say anything. I'm sometimes you have to say you have to let people know. Just like I said last time it happens and we shut them down. Be very careful. You can address things. It's okay as a business. There's businesses and litigations and lawsuits constantly, and you'll see it in the paper and you'll see it in the news. But I feel like it sends a message, and sometimes it helps remind people that you're on it. So people, you just gotta be careful. If you claim to be I know there's people that are like, energy is everything, and I'm about positivity. Please truly exemplify that. And yes, energy is everything. I just thought about that. It just came into my head to say that energy is everything. You're dealing with hair. It's a conduit of energy. I'm always on a spiritual note. Hair is a conductor. You're on people's heads, on their crowns. It's a very good way to transfer things. You can transfer a lot of good and love and support, and you can also do the opposite, and you can also receive. So you want people in a good space. You want to be in a good space as you get into this business, as you support other people through their hair. This has never just been hair. but also I think we have a lot of healing to do as a community, because I feel like the social worker in me always goes deeper to why do we do this? Why do we why do we feel that we cannot attain success on our own merit and giving credit to those who inspire? Why can't we feel like we have enough to all coexist respectfully? I don't have to ever photograph anybody else's website or take their pictures. Every picture I've ever posted, unless it was a reshare of a student or was a client of mine. And I can understand taking and just claiming it was mine, or taking word or creating a structure. So I had a vision all those years ago to do the directory, but I always wanted my directory to be full of highly skilled people. So I knew that that's going to mean it's not going to have every Tom, Dick, or Harry on there. It's going to have people on there, and it may or may not, it just may not be massive, but that is the sacrifice I make for holding on to a certain quality. It's just how it's just part of what I know that I would quote unquote lose would be quantity, because quality over quantity, you tend to have, quality over quantity. So that's a vision of mine. And to see just things like taken right off of or words I've said, and then it's I would be very cautious, and I would not want to be a client right now who didn't understand or didn't do research trying to navigate to get a good loctician who was going to give me a foundation if I wanted the same results I have now. If that's mattered to me, because I would be concerned. And that's why I want to make sure that the locticians that we certify and that we promote and endorse have met those standards. If people are asking for that, have gone through our program, and now we have there's confusion out there. Some people are thinking something else is our program. And that's also on another level bothersome, because now there's people who may actually be looking for a certain quality and they're a little confused because they think that something is ours and it's not. So I want y'all to always know, Michael Lock Mastery and the Golden M's. And just as before, if you make an investment and it has to be shut down, then business will be no longer. So is that what a risk that you want to take, or to have information that's kind of, I see y'all making some comments. Oh, I didn't mean to shut that screen. Let me go back. Oh, well, I keep this slide up. This slide makes sense. Really examine why you're using the method, and why am I truly using this method? Can I be certain? Hi, Gwen. I'm ready. Who is that? You're ready for services or for training? I do not do a lot of hair anymore. I'm focused solely and primarily on training in this program, getting other people to have their books filled, to have their chairs filled, to have the freedom and the success that I felt I was able to have, even as a licensed social worker, even as an Ivy League graduate who was out of work. This business really sustained me. So I'm shut the door on that, and I'm moving into different spaces where I can impact more people, more in line with where I am in this point in my life. So that is what I want to pass 15 years of experience, plus years of experience, knowledge, support. I know people sometimes need resources and money. That is where my mind is. And if people are going to keep trying to undermine, it's taken away from all of us, because now I got to spend money and energy instead of pouring it into the resources that I'm going to be giving out to other people. Got to sit here and deal with someone of my own kind who likes to take and has it out for the success that we have been seeing with Michael Lock Mastery. And instead of saying, this is a great idea, let me find a way to either be respectful or maybe even join forces. That's where our power is going to be. If you got a great resource and idea, but you don't, because you're teaching is shit that doesn't give you good results. I'm sorry, I get mad. I'm like, what are you messing up people's hair for? And now you're certifying them and certified in how to mess up hair. Y'all, Chandrika Cyril. You know how many people I had to post on my personal because I know I have so much support. I never realized how much people support me and my daughter. I'm very transparent, and we are out here, me and her, navigating this world together, and oftentimes it gets overwhelming. And so I know there's a lot of people that I just share like, hey, this is happening. And can y'all send some good energy? So I appreciate you sending some good energy. People want to know names. I'm not necessarily gonna give names right now, but we will be, we're attorneys, we're gonna handle some stuff. And then we'll update people if we need to. And anyone who's relevant, like the people that have reached out that I spoke to on the phone this morning, that was looking for, that was confused. She was on both things and she thought we were both of the same. And she, we had to have that conversation, and she will be updated on when we have our in-person, all the stuff that's had to come down the line, and all y'all in the program. I'm just excited because I always want to give so when I think about giving grants and I think about giving resources and I think about y'all being able to make money off of just legally off our, like, it's just so exciting. That is coming down the line. That is coming soon. So I'm in a fellowship program with a venture capital, Black women venture capital organization called Black Girl Ventures. And we are working on these things together and how I can continue to create and impact the communities that all our students are in, all our certified pros are in. So it's not just about giving y'all a little flimsy training. It's about how can we improve, but also how can we improve your business, add more resources to you. And so it's taken me a little while because it's a 12-week program, but it is amazing what is going to come out of this. And I'm excited to share it with y'all. We're going to start with a few, and then we're going to keep expanding. Helping others making money at the same time. And also sometimes you need money to make money. But here's the thing, when people do games like this and we got to get legal, guess where the money goes? That's going to help the Black women that I had put to the side goes. I got to make this big. Goes to attorneys. We take money out of our community, but it doesn't matter. I know I'll get it back, but you take the money out of the community. Earmark for women to continue to grow and expand their businesses. So congratulations, because you will be shut down. You know, not the type of protection people have. Do not just go and randomly start. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to show y'all this slide real quick. I'm just going to move back. Okay, yeah. So I ask people the methods, right? That's always a good starting place. Some people are kind of confused about the results the methods are going to get. Well, I'm a hair stand, so I'm going to fluff your hair is not going to. There's things that happen in the evolution process of locks, especially on this level, that can add volume and things like that. But there are limitations to it, and there's also things you want to focus on. So when you're looking at methods to try to achieve something, it really needs to be a real clear, what's the word? I don't know. The process needs to be really clear. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is like a fact. Not you seeing someone else's texture that maybe has a following, they're showing you really pretty pictures, or they have really nice makeup on. There's a lot of things that can make a picture look really great and make you think you're like, oh, wow, that looks great. But fundamentally, it can have a lot of problems and can evolve even more problematic or just looking different. And not saying that it's locks are, the beauty of locks is that they can just be beautiful anyway. But when it comes down, people in cosmetology school, like there's actual lock theory and just different things you need to know when you're creating or doing or learning something. And it's just like the science of it. And that's what I'm talking about. What is the science of what you're doing? And is that going to get you what you want? I don't think there's anything else in this slot. Why is it taking me backwards? Yeah, we talked about not doing braids, twists, or comb coils, but yet And this is decades plus of foundational knowledge I apply to all the standards in the program. Not it's something that we've seen somebody do, and now we're gonna do it. Like, okay, I'm gonna stop because I'm starting to get. I feel like I want to stay focused. So thank y'all. Any other questions or comments? Be discerning. We do not have anything happening in July. Be discerning. We do have some stuff that's going to be announced, but as it stands, we're not doing any type of 2-day certification tour. Know the red flags that we just went over. Look for those red flags. They have been consistently causing problems on pro level. If you're looking at pros or training, keep that in mind. And what goes against the fundamental of locking at this size to create the results that will give the strength and look and refinement and longevity that I feel like you deserve. But if that's what you're seeking, you gotta know what it takes to get there, and is it consistent? So, out of 10 clients that this pro does, it should be consistent level quality that they started or that they're maintaining, and do they know how to repair and get? Because I feel like you could rehab anything, you could rehab and refine and repair anything. That was my focus. I always mention that. That's why I focus on it in my training, because I wanted to make sure that I knew how to do some of the common problems, but then there was some advanced level like reattachment. Let's make sure we really fine tune that down, how to do that. So that's all part of my perspective when it comes to high quality work. Not just the rotation that you learn on YouTube, not just doing twists and now, oh, that looks really pretty and cute for the moment. Is it the fact that is it going to last by month 2? And if it does last, is it all locking nice and consistent? Because I even did a 2-strand twist in here for one of the locks that I had issue with. I had COVID. I had a lock come out. And I did a 2-strand twist. And look at how fuzzy and loose. And I left it for, I don't even know if y'all can see it, but I'm pulling it straight. But it's just hair. It's just, it looks nothing like the foundation when I had these in. And I just kind of leave it there because I was going to reattach a lock. I was going to show before and after, like do maybe a video. I have the lock somewhere. And I was like, I'm going to reattach it. It's very, very, very small. But when I did the twist, and my hair is 4C, it does not stand. It just keeps coming out, even at 4C, with nothing in it, no product or anything. So I never had a 2-strand twist foundation. So I was like, I have no idea what that would look like. But I mean, for me, but I was like, if this is what it felt like, my hair would never have locked. It would have been very inconsistent, very weak. So then maybe they would have been bigger, and I would not want it bigger because I'm very happy with this size. I'm very happy with how strong it is and how it gave me confidence on my, like I said, my struggle edges, and it gave me the fullness that I've always wanted. And it just, I had no locks come out for many years until I had COVID at year 13. And so I know that can be for the reality for people. Locks can come out, yeah, but how about they rarely come out? How about the foundations are so good? How about like just having another experience that just thrives, and you can. I went long stints without retightening because I had a lot of challenges being a single mom and being postpartum depressed and just having no support system. I was falling apart. My hair has always been an afro with locks, and to still have the quality. So I felt like my life was a testament for those of us who struggled through. I had a whole Ivy League master's degree and no job, or not insufficient money. And I had my business, and this business has sustained me through the toughest times in my life. And I'd be damned if I was going to start this business on some shoddy ass foundation and fuck people's hair up. Sorry, I'm cursing y'all, because the fact that you do good quality work and people seek you out to do work it really is more than just, oh, I do good work. Like, it could carry you through job loss, through another pandemic. Well, I don't know about pandemic, but there's something devastating in your life that you never knew. But now you have consistent clients that pay you what you're worth, and they see your value. You don't have to ever explain. Like, that was a gift. If I did poor work consistently and didn't have my business right, and I wouldn't, wouldn't have that income, and I would, maybe I would have been in a shelter with my daughter, maybe I would, but I had an income to continue to pay on my house, continue to pay in my apartment in Brooklyn, the car payment and everything. And I was like praying and crying at night, thank you. I had the type of clients that we attract certain things about us. So if you are not gossipy and not shady and not negative, you'll tend to have people like that too. And they will be understanding towards you. And they'll be, I had somebody hold my baby because my daughter's father walked out in the middle of a client. He cursed at me, walked out because I asked him to get formula. And I had a client who saw me crying behind the chair, trying to pull together to get myself to do her hair, finish her hair. He was watching my daughter, walked out, left me with a newborn. And she said, I'll hold him for you. She held the baby for me. So obviously she wants her hair done too. I'm not going to act like I don't know that. Held the baby for me. And I pulled it together, and was like, thank you, thank you. And then when she left, I sat with my daughter and cried. Like, those are that you get, I think the experience of, is so many layers to this. So many layers to this. Somebody I think you accidentally sent a request. Sorry, y'all, I'm not talking to y'all, but y'all don't really comment on here. And I just wanted y'all to be able to see, hear what I was saying. But it's so much more. If any of y'all spiritual or religious or whatever, is going to be much more powerful what I'm saying. This is the time to do right by you, by your family, by your clients, by your community, by your profession. Do right. And with that, I will close out. Thank y'all for joining me.